Thank you very much for coming here today to this event. It's an honor for us from Bentley to be here. I'm here together with my colleague Steve, Rimantis, somewhere we have Rimantis in the back. And as you can hear on the name, he is local. He is very local. He is Vilnius. So I've been here a couple of times before, since we have an office here in Vilnius. Rimantas will explain a bit more of what we do in here in Vilnius, because we do a lot, and a lot of the things that I'm going to present today is actually born here in Vilnius. So hang on to listen to Rimantas coming up after me. So I'm Stefan, I'm Business Development Manager, and I'm working on, I'm taking care of ProjectWise and another product we have, which is called Bentley Navigator, for EMEA, as we say, Europe, Middle East, and Africa. I've done that for like 2.5 years, but 2.5 years, but I've been with Bentley for like 13.5 years. Mainly in the area where Steve now going to present after Rimantas, I think, he's later on in the program anyway. So, which is the civil or transportation infrastructure. All right, so let's get started. Bentley, our mission is to provide innovative software and services for the enterprises and the professionals who design, build, operate the world's infrastructure. So a lot of the things that you saw in the previous presentation from Vladimir is that that is our mission, to improve the quality of life for everyone. And infrastructure to us, that is the interface between us and the earth. That is infrastructure. So it's not just rail and road and so on, but it's the housing, it's the hospitals, it's all of these other things. That is infrastructure to us. So to be able to do that, we have a lot of solutions. And you will even, it's probably not even viewable for you in the back there, but we go into different areas. So we have a playlist of solutions within these different areas. So for road, for rail and transit, for offshore infrastructures, for process plants and water and wastewater, buildings. I mean, we have it almost the all. And as a base for this, we have MicroStation, which is our flagship product, our CAD product. We have ProjectWise, which is taking care of the project delivery. And we have AssetWise, where we take care of the performance of all of this infrastructure. And then you can see we have some more technology there in the bottom. So in the old days, at home, it looks like we didn't have that much of technology. It actually was more technology at our work. I mean, when I started working as a consultant, we had a room where we had some PCs. We had an old Data General mini computer where we had some calculation software for solar energy, sort of solar or shadings and stuff like that, that we later on tried to get out of this mini computer environment into the PC environment or the personal computer environment. Nowadays, we probably have more, or we actually use more technology in our homes. I actually left my mobile there, down in my bag, but I actually have my car on my mobile. I have my alarm system at home on my mobile, so I can switch on and switch off lights at home. Makes the family really happy. But then if we look at our work, if we go out on a construction site, I mean, we see the paper drawings. What connection does that have back to get the information back into the system? There's like no connection at all. I mean, that paper, that drawing, the information that you mark up the drawings, well, it has a long way to get back into the system again. So we started, I mean, we've been trying to get this into the business for a long time. We started we acquired ProjectWise a long time ago, and I think it it was mainly developed in Finland, but I think even at that time it had some development here, down here in Vilnius, or in Lithuania as well, with a company called Alna. So we started the development many years ago. Then we started to look into some more. We did see that, well, it still didn't work. We needed to include the supply chain into this as well. And that's why we started to work on cloud services for ProjectWise. But before going into that, I mean, you saw a bit of this in the previous presentation, but we need to get the technology, the processes, the people, we needed to get it together, and also with the politics, as Vladimir was saying previously. This came pretty convenient to us, I must say, because we delivered our CONNECT Edition, our software, that was delivered in October 3 years ago. And then it went on to the summer of 2016 when McKinsey came with this survey, which wasn't that good to the construction industry. So as you can see, we have construction down here, and below is agricultural and hunting. And I usually say that, well, if hunting was out of there, agricultural will be higher up in the hierarchy, because they're pretty good on digitalization. And we can see the IT companies and the media and so on are up there in the top. But there is still a lot to do in construction. And the good thing here is, or good or bad, is that there is a lot of money within the construction business. So there is a lot of money we could save by going more digital in the construction area. So they saw 5 areas, one being higher definition surveying and geolocation. I know Topcon is here. Today we work, we have a strategic relationship with Topcon, so that goes into that area. The next one is 5D building information modeling. This summer we acquired a company in the UK and the US called Synchro Software, where you actually can do the planning, so you can have your planning together with your 3D model, and then you will be able to also include your resources and cost of material and all of that into this software. So that is going like 5D BIM. Digital collaboration and mobility was another area. So that is where we get in with ProjectWise and our cloud services. The fourth one is the Internet of Things. That is where sensors comes in, to have sensors built into your materials that could be used during the construction, but also further on, sensors that could be used in operation of the infrastructure. And then the last one is going into future-proof design and construction, so new materials, new methods of working, and so on. So out of this, you can also say that what we're talking about here today is it's all about, well, BIM. So question is what BIM is. It could be building information modeling. It could be better information modeling. Or in Bentley, internally Bentley, sometimes we call it Bentley information modeling. So we can do a lot of things on this. We actually had a software that I will show you a peek view or a little view of later on, where we had a server that we called the Bentley Information Modeling Server, or the BIM server, but it's now renamed to iModel Hub. But that is coming up a bit later in my presentation. But everyone is important in this, so we need to include everyone that is working within a project. We need to include everyone. So how is that possible to include everyone in here? Well, we have these revolutions that's been going on. I mean, in the early days, we have the steam, we have the electricity, then came the electronics and IT, and now we're into the digital revolution. And the pricing of using these kind of different technologies. This is just to show you, this is a slide from a Microsoft presentation, which is also one of our strategic relationships we have within Bentley. So you can see that, I mean, using drones has gone down in pricing dramatically. We see a lot of new affordable drones coming out and small flights coming out from companies like Topcon. We have the 3D printing, industrial robots, and all of this, and sensors. Everything is coming down in price, so it's affordable to use the technology. So it's time to get out of the silos. So we're saying that we work with measurement and inspection, and we're working in the cloud and everything, but still, I mean, if we're not connecting with engineering and construction, I mean, it's still silos. We're not sharing the information. So we need to get into what we see here, constructioneering. So that is just combining the words to get into constructioneering. So that is one of the CEO at Bentley, he is very good at inventing words, new words, which could be hard for us that are not English speaking, and what I've heard, even for the English speaking part of the company could be hard sometimes, because he is always inventing his own words when he's speaking. So, but anyway, we need to get all together, we need to use the same information through the project, and how is that possible? So it's time to get connected by going digital. This is a lot of information, but it's quite easily explained. In the top there you have design, creation and management, which are producing models. You can also have some real-time data acquisition. You could use those models as well, and reality models. And out of these, the design models, and you work together with the align model and the mesh models, and you get so you can work on the reality, and you do the reality modeling you can do by collecting that by taking photos. Out of those photos, we can give them, we send them into our context capture in the Azure cloud, and do the computation, and you could get things like this. So this is pure photos. It is a model out of 100 and, well, probably you know where it is, but it is a model, a mesh model that is done out of 142,000 high-resolution photos. And it has an accuracy of 7 to 10 centimeters. So I mean, if you're getting closer up to the reality, you're on a closer distance and take more pictures, then you're getting even a better accuracy in your model. So those models could be used further on for design, but it could also be used within the construction. So you could actually fly a drone during construction. You can fly a drone over the project and pick up the information within the project to get the status of the construction site. So that could be done weekly or something like that. So we think that to be able to do that, some people talk about the common data environment. We at Bentley, we even talk about a connected data environment. So we need to have connected users, connected projects, connected assets, and connected enterprises. And we see it as within the project delivery. We have the design work sharing, the BIM review. We have something which we call BIM bid management, which we use quite a lot in the US. Construction management of now I lost the word, but all the papers within the project, all the agreements and whatever. And then we have this little new piece which we call construction modeling, which was the synchro software where you can do the planning for the whole project. And even what they do they've done lately is they include new technology here, so you can be in a project on the site, in the room, and you can be a group of people. You can use these HoloLenses and have the model and work on the model within the group and move things around. So where should we, when in time, okay, we won't get the material for this one in time. Could we move that piece a bit further on in the schedule? And what could we do before? Is it possible to do these other things beforehand? So you work together and you see directly in the model if it's possible or not. So as I said in the start, ProjectWise has been there for quite a while. We have delivered projects in more than 100 countries over the world. And it's not small projects. I mean, it's pretty large ones. We're probably going to hear more about a project in the UK later on in the day, which is called Crossrail. Steve's going to present a couple of projects as well when he's up. We have another project in Stockholm running at the moment, which is the Bypass Stockholm, where they build a tunnel on the west side of Stockholm. So a 18-kilometer twin tunnel, 3 lanes in each tunnel, going under the islands on the side of Stockholm, west side of Stockholm, so actually going almost under the castle where the Queen and King of Sweden are living. So, and these projects are, I think that we delivered almost 1 million projects. Only last year there was 160,000 projects delivered through ProjectWise. So a lot of automation tasks are happening monthly within, over 1 million, and there is a lot of trail records audit trail records in ProjectWise, because we keep track of everything in ProjectWise. So you have a good view of everything, and if you're going into like legal disputes or whatever, you could always go back and track it in ProjectWise when things were happening. So it is a system for collaboration on multidiscipline teams. We remove the geographic and technology boundaries. You can share files securely among different organizations because you have the ability to control the group and user and document access. So you can have a group of users that have access to a project, another group that don't have access to that project, which means that in their viewer or access client they won't even see the project. They won't even know that the project exists in ProjectWise because they're not working in it. They shouldn't have any access to it. And you can also have different type of access to the documents. So some people can go in and edit, change, do whatever they want with the documents. Some people could just view the documents. So that is things that you set up in ProjectWise. It is a system that works with a server and a client, which means that there is a transfer over the internet or intranets. And to reduce the amount of data traveling around on the internet, we use something we call a data file transfer. So we only transfer the changes you've done to the file. So that is pretty smart and pretty clever. We also leverage a thing called caching servers. So if let's say that the server you have is in your main office and you're sitting there in some other location, let's say that you're working in Vilnius and you have an office in Kaunas, and that office isn't that well. You don't have a good connection between the offices. So then you put up a caching server there, and all the files they're working on in Kaunas, those are mirrored to the server in Kaunas. And when a person in Kaunas want to open a model, it goes to the server in Vilnius, and so I want to open this file, or I want to check it out and work on it. Then it goes to the caching server and checks, so it's the latest version here. And if it's there, it goes to the the laptop of the person or the computer, the personal computer of the person, and checks, all right, so do I have the latest? Was I the one that was working on this last? So yes, then it's opening it up from the laptop. Otherwise from the caching server, and if not, it transfers over the information to the caching server, the Delta information. But that is all is in sync, so usually the latest version is always on the caching server. We do the best-in-class design application. We found out that Bentley is not the only CAD company in the world. So I mean, we need to integrate other software into the solution as well. And I mean, mainly then Autodesk solutions, so like AutoCAD, Civil 3D, Revit. So we have integrations for these. And that means that you could safely work within AutoCAD, and you know that all of the information will be stored. All of the connections I have to reference files and whatever, that we won't break it. We will keep track of it, and actually ProjectWise will keep track of it so much better than anything else. So as I said, like 3 years ago, we released something we call the ProjectWise CONNECT Edition. So we have some, what we now say 365 services. We've been calling this connection services, but we're starting to use a lot of Microsoft technologies in here. So we actually renamed these to ProjectWise 365 services. In here we have the first one in line is actually the baby of Remantis, which is the deliverables management. We have Project Share, which we could also call ProjectWise Share. We have something we call performance dashboards, issues resolution, field data management. So I will go through these and show you a bit of all of them, what they actually are. And what we can say about, well, I can take that later. We'll take it while we get there. So this is the ProjectWise Explorer. It's not looking that fancy, right? It is an Explorer. It is like the Windows Explorer. So that's why it's looking like it's looking, because we didn't want it to be a jump or a big leap to go into using ProjectWise. It should be like using a normal Explorer, the normal Windows Explorer. But we all have all of this. I could probably start running a little video as well. But we have the application integration, the audit trails, and workflows, and you could set up a lot of things for the files. So here we have actually a view into our project portal, so our cloud services. Now it's going to go and look at the audit trail for this file, so we can see here's the audit trail. So we can see all of the changes that's been made to the file. I'm just going to continue a little bit further on this little video into the dependency viewer. This is really, really cool. Because this is showing, I mean, if you open up a file, do you know how many files that are attached? How many other files we're using to build up that model file? So this is actually showing all of the files that are used and the connection between the files. And you can actually turn this one upside down, so you can look at a file you've done and then check, so how many other files are using my file in their models? So and you can do a lot of analysis and things on this. And this is, if you by chance are working with like Civil 3D or something, I mean, that is also handling or managing the shortcuts. So how are we able to manage all of this in like a folder structure like this? So I usually say that, well, this is just fake, sort of, or yeah, well, it's just a graphical interface, because it is a database behind it. It is a index database, so we have full control of everything, and the way we're showing it is, like a folder-based system, a folder structure, because that is how Microsoft learn people with folders and how files were stored and so on. So we're following that. We're not storing it in that way because we want to be able to keep track of everything. ProjectWise Share is another one. That is our web interface into ProjectWise. So you can have a project share that is just publishing information up to a website. But you could also use the ProjectWise Share, which we're doing now with the little blue ProjectWise icon. So we manage connections here down here. So we can say that, yeah, we want to make a new connection, and we do it to the project folder. So this will be sort of a project portal. And the good thing here is that we also integrate SharePoint in here. So we can manage, by managed connection, we can also connect to a SharePoint site. All right. So that is a bit about the ProjectWise Share. Next in line, deliverables management. This is a cloud service, actually one of the ones that we have the most or the best attach rate of usage. A lot of large users are in using this. The Copenhagen Metro is one of our sort of in the front users, and a lot of other big organizations are using deliverables management. And that is for packaging, you can make a package of files. I can run the little video here. This is showing it working out of the ProjectWise Explorer. So you can just set subjects on it, and then what recipients you should have of these documents. You set the set of documents, and you do a scheduling for the document package. And of course, here it's important, very important, that you have an audit trail so you can follow what is happening. If you get an acknowledged by the user in the other end that he's actually received it, it's like you getting a package by DHL, you need to sign. So this is the same thing. You get a file, you get a set of files that you need to go up and collect and review. Maybe to give some responses back to it. In this case, it is a final file for construction. So they just pick the file, and then it's going to go away to the guy, and he needs to acknowledge it. So we're working with the transmittals. Then you have the submittals. That's the files you're getting back, or you're submitting back to the original company. And we're also handling what we call RFIs, request for information within the project, so that you have a place for your comments and for that information within the project. So I think that we're ready to, well. Yeah, he's showing the audit trail. It's not that much in the audit trail. He's creating a draft so far. So we're gonna push a transmittal out. So this is something Rimantas is working on day in and day out, together with some other stuff, which are very interesting. So you get a transmittal cover letter. I mean, this is all configurable, so you could have your own view or your own design of these transmittal letters. We issue this, and so it's going out there. And let's see, I think, just going to see how much we have left of the video. Just a few seconds more. So it's going in, and now we're going to show it, opening it from the. So that's another audit trail now. Now we have sent it away, and we even got it acknowledged, so we can go and look at it from the portal point of view. So this is the connection center. I mean, you go to connect.bentley.com, and you have your own personalized connection center. You have your projects. You can go into, he goes into deliverables management, and here's the place where he where he acknowledged the file, and there's the acknowledgement. So that is the way it's working in here. All right. So let's go to the BIM review. Navigator. So Navigator is, for some of you, maybe you work in the Autodesk world. It is our answer to Naviswork. It is a software where you can do clash detection. It's included in there in the new version, the CONNECT Edition version. You can do some scheduling. You can do real-time collaboration. So you can work on the same model. You could be in the field with one guy working on a model. He needs some help from the office. So he sort of calls up through Navigator to the office, and they are looking at the same model. And then they can switch control of the model between the office and the field, and move into the model and see what it is that he should do in the field. So this is the view of it. So this is also working on the mobiles, and actually on the mobiles you have steering wheels on the screen. So it's like a game. You're working in a game when you do your walkthroughs and stuff like that. You don't have clash detections and so on the mobiles because it's too heavy computer-wise to have on the mobiles. So in connection with this, we have the issues resolution. So issues resolution is a center where you have a lot of issues in your models. You have your clash detections, you do markups and things like that. So you want to get them fixed. You want to have one project page. So we can see here we have the project page. We have our issue. So we're going to go further with this one. We're going to assign it. So we see the attachment. We want to do some more comments. So this is back to this portal I was talking about. So it's the connect.bentley.com. And for this project and the issues we have in this project, we close the form, and then we pick the button again. We go for actions. All right, so we want to assign it to a special user. So we take Bill for this one to fix it. So when Bill opened up his MicroStation, he has a new icon. And it's not only in MicroStation, it's in other ones as well. We have it in Revit and AutoCAD. So you get like manage issues. So you get a closed loop here. So you have this list of issues in MicroStation as well. So you can go in, you pick the issue. MicroStation goes into the model, to the place where the issue is, and then you can continue there fixing the issue and go back to the portal and say that, well, the issue is fixed, all right? A year ago, approximately, or a bit more than a year, we pushed some money into an open consortium called Cesium. At the moment, I didn't really know what it was all about. I thought that, oh, why are we putting money into something that looks like Google Earth? I mean, it's another Google Earth. To me, it was another Google Earth. But the great thing here is that, I mean, we can use this technology. It's a very clever technology. It's about tiled 3D picture tiles within the web browser. So using a normal web browser, starting it up from within connect.bentley.com, but then it's just a regular web browser. We can define our own icons up there. And actually behind those icons, we can have menus. As you saw, we had a menu where we went into different views. We can look at taking or taking off some, or not taking off, but like making some objects invisible and some layers invisible, so we get a clean view of the roof. So that is our navigator on the web. Field data management, it's all about you creating your own forms. So you can design your own forms. It could be minutes of meetings. It could be other kind of things. You being out doing security checking on the site or other type of information where you want to have information going back into ProjectWise. You want to have it stored in ProjectWise, all the inspections you are doing out in the fields. So this is using the ProjectWise Edge Mobile to get the forms out of there. And then we do all of our stuff in here. So we're gonna move this a bit faster. So what we do in the, whoops, moved it too fast. So what we do here later on, we align it with a CAD model. Start it as well. So we align it with a CAD model, and then we store it back into ProjectWise. So it's all about having, I remember the picture I had with the paper in the start, in the field. This is aligning it in the right way. Instead of doing it on a paper, you're doing it on your tablets and getting it back to the field or into ProjectWise again. Yeah. So ProjectWise Insight, that is the second baby of Remantis. So here we're also showing our relationship with Microsoft. When we did our development, there were no Power BI, business intelligence from Microsoft. So now we can use that technology. We developed our own performance dashboards, but now we can use use the technology from Microsoft in here. So we can do much more and combine much more of data and different data sources into the reporting system. So I'll probably jump this one. It's about iModels, but I want to show you this as will probably be the end of it. This is the iModel Hub. So we can transfer information, CAD models, all different kind of CAD software. They have their own bridges. Go into this model. You see different colors in here. Blue means there is something changed in the model. The red one is that, well, there is something that has been deleted between the versions. And green, all right, that is new information. Green is a good color, so new information coming into the model. So we can see, I will probably stop the one, or just make a little pause here. All right. So you can see, hopefully, you can see that the red ones, there are information that has gone away from the previous version. Green ones, we've done some class on the fire rating, and on the concrete one, we've changed it from concrete to reinforced concrete. All right, so that was the iModel Hub. So as you can see, we're combining the power of ProjectWise with the Microsoft 365. So we're using a lot of their new technologies, and that is the way forward for the being able to have a connected data environment and going into the new era of constructioneering. All right, thank you very much. And now I will welcome Remantis up to stage.
Thank you, Stefan.
Thank you.